So I got the legs in dry because I want to mark for the kerfs for the wedges because I'm gonna saw them first. When I'm doing a painting chair, I like to saw them before I put the undercarriage together so I can saw them on the bandsaw. But if I'm not painting the chair, one of the contemporary chairs, say a walnut seat, I do it after I put the undercarriage together and I have to saw them by hand. Now the reason for that is that with the drilling, the kerf could be just a tad bit off. Not enough to where structurally it makes a difference, but to where visually it would make a difference. Now, so if you paint it, you can't see it. But in the natural chair, I want those wedges to be real pristine, just straight across from one another. So now, of course wedges always are perpendicular to the longwood fibers of the mortise piece. The direction of the wedge is determined by the mortise piece, not by the tenon. And so that is the direction of the wedges right here. Now you can't mess with that direction either. That's one thing that's kind of written in stone there. Now I'm going to show you two ways that I cut wedges. One of them is bandsaw and one of them is by hand. So with the bandsaw, what I do is just get a block, the length that I want the wedges of whatever hardwood I got lying around. This is white oak right here. Then I set the miter gauge at 3 degrees and I end up with 6-degree wedges, which I like. So I'll show you. I just flip it. So there's that. Now I'll show you how to do it by hand. Okay, so by hand, what I'll do is, like I've got these green cutoffs from the turnings, and so I can just mark them out and. So that would be the width of the wedge that I want. And always splitting it in half so you can see you can make a Z and 1 wedges out of this. So you get these little wafers like that. Then you just line up all your little wafers over here, put it right there in that block. Let's see if this is going to work. Like that, and flip her over. Like that. Get you some nice wedges like that. That one's not as good as what I'd like to get, but I haven't done this in a while either because I always cut them on the bandsaw. But anyway, if you don't have a bandsaw, that's a great way to do it. In fact, I even like the wedges that it produces better than the ones on the bandsaw, but the bandsaw's easier. So we're ready to start gluing up, and so my hide glue's all ready over here. Now, one issue is I've got my glue pot over here, and I've got the cord right there, which is a potential disaster for me. So what I do is this: I use a water bath. I don't do the glue straight inside the pot. I use just a water bath right here, and it's great because I can thin my glue with the water in the water bath. So you're not putting cold water in there when it evaporates down. Also, I can just pull it out of the pot and it'll stay hot for quite a while, and I'll stick it back in the pot when I'm ready to get it a little hotter again. Find my wedge there. I'm going to lock this in. I'll lock this in down here. As you see, I'm not up in the V-blocks because I'm going to pound on it a little bit. And I get my center stretcher. Now once again, I got grain orientation, growth rings perpendicular to the long wood fibers of the mortise piece, so I can put it in like that. I can put it in like that. I can put it in like that. Or I can rotate it 180 and put it in like that. The only thing I might want to look for is if I had some sort of a defect and wanted to make sure that it was facing down towards the bottom of the chair. But this is perfect, so no problem. So I'll take a little bit of glue, put her in the hole, a little bit of glue, put it on the tenon. Line her up. All the way down. I got a glue mess right there. Use my old toothbrushes. And then a little bit of water. Now if I'm not going to paint the chair, have a natural chair, I can't get that glue mess and then wipe it off with water because it'll dilute the glue and go down into the wood fibers. But paint them and you can do it. So you can see how I like that. No shoulder. Looks like it just grew out of there. Now this one, I can only go in one way. You want to make sure that you're creating a trapezoid, not a parallelogram. But I've also got marks. So, I told you I put the numbers of the leg on what would be the bottom of the stretcher, facing towards the foot. So I just make sure that my numbers are all on the same side because it's not good to make that mistake at all. And as I pound it in, I'm going to be lining them up because you want them parallel. Now I'll use the dead blow.